Coming in at number 4, we have Thor: The Dark World. Now, while I don't necessarily dislike this movie, and I do think it's very overhated, however, out of all the Thor films that could have came last, I think it had to be this. My main problems with this movie stem from the fact that it's got one of the most boring, bland, and generic characters as their main villain, which is Malekith. Also, the third act is quite messy, and the pacing can be off at times. But there were things I did like about this movie, like how we got to see more of Asgard, and also Loki's fake death was a fairly good plot twist. Also, the death of Thor's mother was handled pretty well. Coming in at number 3, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. This movie could have been so much better than it turned out. One of my main problems with this film was the humor. It can get really annoying at times, like the screaming goats, and in most instances can undercut the emotion that should be invoked out of serious scenes. As well as that gore was heavily underutilized and was pretty much wasted throughout the film. However, things like the death of Jane Foster, that opening scene with Gore's backstory, keep this movie from being last on my list. In second place, we have Thor 1, or just Thor. And I honestly think this movie is pretty underrated. It's a good origin story for Thor, and the plot and characters are fairly likable. One of the positives of this movie is Loki, as in terms of being the god of mischief. I think this is him at his best. And also that fight on the Rainbow Bridge at the end is really well done. My only real gripes with this film are that it drags at certain points, mainly the scenes on Earth. And I also would have liked if we got to see more of Asgard. But coming in at number 1, we have Thor Ragnarok. This film is genuinely amazing, and definitely Taika Waititi at his best. The humor and seriousness are well balanced, and the movie it does have a fairly high amount of comedic moments. It knows when to tone it down for the more serious scenes. So whereas Thor: Love and Thunder was 70% humor and 30% serious moments, Thor Ragnarok is more like 40% humor and 60% serious moments. The soundtrack is great. Hela is a threatening villain, and overall I think this is still one of the best MCU movies to date. If there are more Thor movies to come, I think they should have the seriousness of the first Thor movie and the humor of Thor Ragnarok.